Davy the Diver. One bright day in June, Davy the Diver, with a kick and a sprawl, rolled out of his eggshell and looked upon the world. It was the first that Davy had ever seen of this great world, for that was the day and that was the way he was hatched. Davy the Diver found himself lying on a nest of moss and rushes above the water near the shore of a beautiful lake. And that was exactly where Davy wanted to be. For you see, Davy was a little loon, and loons are the greatest divers of all the birds in the world. And of course they have to have water to dive in. So that was why Davy's mother, Sally Loon, had built her nest right there. All that Davy had to do was to scramble off the nest, and there he would be in the water, where he wanted to be. And so, in 2 or 3 days, he did and joined his father and mother in swimming around in a lake. For Davy was an only child this year. The other big brown egg that might have been his brother never hatched, and so Sally Loon and her husband had only one little loon to feed and to teach. What do you think they fed him? Fish. For loons can dive so far and swim so fast under water that they can overtake the fish as they dart here and there. Fish is what they live on and what they feed to their children. What do you think his parents taught Davy? They didn't have to teach him to swim, for he could swim as soon as he struck the water. And they didn't have to teach him to dive, for he could dive as well as he could swim. But they had to teach him to fly. Loons have a hard time to start flying because they have heavy bodies and small wings. But when they get into the air, they fly very fast. Davy the Diver swam around with his parents on the lake, and after a while his father and mother began to beat their wings and rise out of the water, paddling with their feet as they rose, and at last they got into the air. But poor Davy, try as he might, could not go up above the water. He could go on it, and he could go under it, but he couldn't go above it. He watched his parents fly up there in the air, and he felt lonesome. But pretty soon he saw them come shooting down and strike the water, and he was happy when they were with him again. So he watched them day after day, and gradually he learned to flap his wings and paddle with his feet very fast, and at last he got into the air, and so he learned to fly. Then they had to teach him to keep away from danger, for there were many animals besides men that would catch him and kill him if they could. One day, soon after Davy had left his nest, there came a man in a canoe on the lake, and out there he saw Davy the Diver and his mother, Sally Loon. The man thought it would be fun to chase them, and he started paddling after them as fast as he could. Sally Loon uttered a cry which her little son Davy knew meant danger. Quick as a flash he dived. His mother dived too, and came up near the canoe, where she made a great splashing with her wings and feet to keep the man's attention on herself. But the man knew what trick she was up to, so he kept his eye out for Davy, and pretty soon, away off on a lake, he saw the little driver come up and sit still. The man paddled over toward him. Again the mother uttered her warning cry, and Davy dived into the lake toward his mother. Again Sally Loon dived near to the boat and made a great noise, but she could not make the man follow her. He kept after Davy every time the little bird came to the top. At last Davy thought it was time to quit being chased, so he dived under some brush that overhung the bank, and there he put the tip of his bill out of the water into the brush, so he could breathe but could not be seen. The man could not find him, and so at last he had to give up and go away. When the man was out of sight, Sally Loon swam toward her baby, uttering a low cry, and Davy came out from his hiding place. As his mother lowered herself in the water, he swam upon her back, and she carried him off. He had had enough diving for that day, but well had he earned his name of Davy the Diver.